Hello, hello everyone. Come on into the craft room. I'm Kathy from Kathy Creates, where I try to inspire you to create. I'm going to get us pulled up over here. Miss Tracy will get us shared into Craft Around the Clock. This is my segment for Craft Around the Clock. Miss Tracy will get us shared in. And there we are. I can see us. Let's see if I can... Let's see comments. Okay. When you get here, say hello. Let me know you're here. Let me know how your day's been and what's been going on. We are back from vacation. We are in Alabama for a week visiting with our daughter, and we went to New Orleans and we just did all the things. So come on in. Say hello. I'm going to get us pulled up. Let's make sure I can see comments. I believe I can. There's Miss Pat. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Good evening to you. My mom will be on and we'll be pulling comments for Happy Mail entries, so make sure that you're commenting as we go along. What I have for you today is we have a brand new lavender tiered tray kit. Okay, this is the first piece. Now these are all loose still, so I'm not going to be able to hold it up. But it says Bloom. It has this piece, it has a couple little flowers, then it's got this little lavender wreath, and then it's got this little frame that goes around it, and then the little backer board. Okay, then we have this little piece, which I think is just precious. It's got the little lavender bundle. It's got a little bow that you put over the top. It's got this little beaded detail that goes over on the inside of the frame. Then we have the frame. And then I love the detail in this. Look at how cool that is. Okay, so we have that. And then we have, now this one's going to fall all apart when I hold it up. So we're going to be careful. But these are all little individual little stems. There's the back has the stems, but then there's also all these little ones that go over the top to give it some dimension. Okay, and then it's got this little that I'd already painted because I was like overzealous. It's got a little frame or label, I guess, and then it says lavender. Okay, and then this one actually stands on its own. It's got a little stand that goes underneath it, so it'll stand upright. Okay, so make sure that you are saying hello, and we're going to go ahead and get started here. So first thing we're going to do is paint all of our backer boards, because we're going to paint them all white. Now, as you can see, this has all those lavender stems, but then it's got all these little ones that go over the top. Okay, so we're going to set that aside. We're going to paint that. We're going to set this guy aside. We're going to paint this. And we're going to set all of these aside and paint our backer boards. Okay, now, if you're new to me, you'll soon find out I love all things that are distressed. Okay, I love the distressed look, and I love to do it with just a candle. This is just a little votive candle from Dollar Tree. That's all it is. And you're just going to smear it on. And I go pretty heavy on it. And there's Mom. Mom is here to draw names for Happy Mail. Okay, so we're going to go pretty heavy. We're going to do the same thing on this guy. We got to make sure we get our handle and our spout. Okay, of our little pitcher. Now we're going to go ahead and paint all of those white. Hey, Kim. How is everybody tonight? Mom is drawing names, so make sure that you're commenting for a chance for Happy Mail. So what she's drawing right now are entries to Happy Mail that we draw on or around the 15th or 13th of the month. Okay? Now let's go, Mom. Hey, Penny. All right, so we're going to paint this guy up. And I'm just painting these white, and then we're going to distress them. So it doesn't really have to be absolutely perfect coverage because we're going to distress the heck out of it anyways. So We just want a good coat. Okay, so this guy is done. Okay, as you can see, it's kind of streaky. Don't care because it's going to be fine. Okay, and now we're going to paint this guy. Now this guy, the lines are going to kind of disappear, but we're going to bring them back. We're going to use our little poker tool from, I don't know what it's actually called. I think it's called a craft tool from Dollar Tree. It's got the little point on the end. It's the little pink guy with the little point. I use it all the time. So just evening up my brush strokes. Okay, got that guy painted. And then we're going to do this guy as well. So who else been to New Orleans? So I briefly talked about it last week when I was on, because we were still in Alabama at the time. And we had just went to New Orleans the day before. I'm telling you, that place is something. And I'm not overly fond of it. I probably will never go back. So what's everybody else think? Am I alone in that? Or is everybody kind of agree? It's a crazy place. And we were only there during the day. I can't even imagine the evenings there. Because it was a little crazy. Okay, I think we're done with the white. So we're going to put that aside. And I've got white all over my hands. So before I make a mess, I'm going to take a wipe here and clean myself up. Did I get beads? No, I did not get beads, Kim. I could have bought some. They were in all of the souvenir shops. They had them all, and they had every possible thing. Hey, Nancy, welcome. So glad you're here. Okay, so we're going to dry this real quick. You haven't been since your younger years? Yeah, I'm not. Apparently I'm too old, because I felt not safe the whole time we were there. It felt dirty and grimy, and I don't know. It's just not my cup of tea. I was not impressed. Yeah, it was. Actually, I think we're going to add another coat. These aren't very white. I think we're going to need another coat. Hey, Miss Mary. Hello, hello. We're going to add one more coat real quick. I just put this in the water, so now I gotta squeeze out the water. It's got a bunch of paint in it. That's okay. I think we're all right. I enjoyed Nashville much better, but it was also very loud. Because Nashville, I don't know if you've been there recently, but the way Nashville is now is, because I was talking to my boss about it, and she said it didn't used to be that way, but this was our first time ever going, so I knew no different. It is, Music Row has all the bars and restaurants and stuff, and each of them is like 3 or 4 stories high with a rooftop bar, and each floor has a different band playing, and they're all like the up and coming type artists, they're no-name artists, but oh, Miss Tracy, you sent me stars. Look at you. Thank you so much, Miss Tracy. But they're all like the up and coming stars and things. And so they like try to out compete each other for sound, because, one's got to drown out the next so that you can hear it on the floor you're on. So it is so loud, and it is because there's rooftop bars and they're competing, and it is just really loud. I had such a headache when we left, and we were only there for a couple hours, but I was like, I gotta get out of here. So apparently I'm too old for that too. It was fun and it was cool, and you know, we did a few of the things, but not a lot. I did not see Blake Shelton. We went to the Garth Brooks bar. We were in the Jimmy Buffett Margaritaville bar. Went in several of the souvenir shops, or a couple of the souvenir shops. We, that's really about it, I guess. We didn't really, because like I said, we were only there for a couple hours, and we ate dinner down there and then pretty much left after dinner. So, but it was fun, and it was different, and I would like to go back there. Maybe bring some earplugs or something, because wow, is it loud. I bet you could still hear the music through earplugs. I bet if you had like those squishy earplugs in, you'd still be able to hear it, because it's so loud. Hi, Cindy. Miss Mary, we're going to get to meet face to face. I'm so excited. Who else is going to the meetup? Any of y'all on here tonight going to the meetup? In September in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I think it's September 12th, 13th, 14th, something like that. It's right in that area. Margaritaville is one of your favorite places? Yeah, we went in there. Honestly, we were going to eat there, but there was like nobody in there, and we were kind of like, is there a reason nobody's in here? Is the food terrible or something? So we ended up not eating there, but we checked it out. It was still cool. It probably was fine. It just, Bob's like, okay, we're eating at one place. You got one place. Are you sure you want to eat here? Hello, Michelle from San Antonio, Texas. Welcome, welcome. I can tell y'all, though, I did not enjoy that heat. That heat is no joke down there. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to scrape. Okay, so wherever we put the wax, it's going to help us to peel off the paint. And you'll get this glorious little chippy effect going on. And I go back and forth because I don't want it to look like it's perfectly straight lines. We want it to look like it's been worn, abused, neglected, all the things. Okay, so you can see we've got some good chippy going on there. Now we're going to do the same on this guy. Make sure he's dry. Hello, Miss Tracy. Yay, Miss Mary. We're finally going to get to meet in person. You've been one of my original followers and then became a Craft Around the Clock crafter. I just lost my train of thought. I'm like, what was I saying? So I'm so excited that we're going to get to finally meet face to face. All right, and now we're going to do this guy. And then we'll go back with our little sander and give him a little sand as well. This just gets the bulk of it off. All right, so we're done with that guy. Now we're going to take my little gator. And now this one's pretty junked up with paint, which is fine for what I'm doing. I don't really want to really coarse grit on this, so this is perfect. It's basically just kind of taking off any of the edges where, okay, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I love the effect you get with this technique. Yeah, Kim, yeah, someday we're going to have to meet. You're so silly. Kim and I work together. She is actually in our Fremont office, which is, I don't know, 30 minutes from where I live, probably an hour from the office that I work in. She works in another office. But we talk almost every day on the phone, I think. Okay, so we got our the whites are done. All right, so let's clean this mess up though. Let me dump this in my trash can, wipe this up real quick, and we'll move on. Okay, so I got that cleaned up. Okay, so now we are going to move on. We're going to set this aside. We don't need that guy for right now. We don't need that guy. We need this. We need these. Okay, so these we need to line up. They kind of go like so. However you want to do them, but I would like to alternate them. So first I'm going to paint these. We're going to paint, the stems are going to be green, and then I'm going to use two different colors of purple. And the green I'm just using is the forest green. So nothing crazy there. And I'm going to flip this around because I think it's a little easier to paint it when it's closer to me. And we're just going to, and this coat doesn't really have to be super great because these are going to cover it up mostly, but you will see a little of it. So I want my stems green, just the bottoms of them. The top part up here I'm not worried about. I'm going to do those purple. I'm just doing these stems right down here, right at the base. I'll hold this up here in a moment so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. So as you can see, I just did those little stems. I'm not worried about the ones that are up here in between the flowers of the lavender. That doesn't bother me. And I'm going to do the same thing on all these little guys. So if you haven't noticed, I'm kind of into the lavender right now. And which is good because we're going to be doing I guess a craft show, I guess it would be called, but it's at the Lavender Festival just outside of the town I live in here in Lucky. If you're local, the last weekend in June is the Lavender Festival, and it's at the Lucky Lavender Farm, and it's always really well attended. She does such a great job. I'm going to go ahead and paint the stems on this guy as well, since we have it out. I have the green out. So I'm going to go ahead and paint that. But she does a great job of advertising and bringing people in, and it's a 2-day event. And so I'm kind of getting ready for that, and I'm loving all the lavender. Oh yeah, I've had the apron forever. I like this shirt a lot, and I didn't want to take the chance of getting paint all over it. Yeah, and it has paint on it. There's paint all over it. Okay, so that guy's done. I think that's it of the green. So we can rinse our brush because we're going to use it again for the purple. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with the dark purple. Hey Chris, congratulations on your brand new grandbaby. He's adorable. And look at that. You won an entry to Happy Mail. Just like that. Okay, let's see. So I'll figure that out in a minute. We're going to do this. So what I did on my other one, my test ones that I did, is I painted every other little row of the lavender in the dark purple and the light purple. And I really liked how that looked. So that's what we're going to do here. So I'm just going to the next one. And this is a great little tiered tray kit, or you could just, wherever you need a little pop of something, be cute on like a bathroom counter, a couple of these pieces on your kitchen counter in a little nook, anything like that would be great. Matter of fact, I might put one of these. I have a shelf in my bathroom, and I might put one of these pieces in there. Just to bring a little summer, spring into the bathroom. So I really don't have any of that going on right now in there. As soon as I get this row done, I will show you. Okay, so as you can see, I just kind of skipped every other little thing. It is exciting. Michelle, I love it too. It just smells so good. Okay, so I got to figure this out. All right, so, because I want these to be every other one as well. So, I want to start. It doesn't have to be, and you know, you could do them all the same color if you wanted. I just liked this look. I thought it looked kind of neat with the different shades of purple and alternating them. Now this purple does not cover very well, so I will need to do a second coat. I don't know why. This is a Deco Art. African Violet, but it's kind of like watery looking, where it's almost like a watercolor, and it doesn't cover real. It's not opaque, I guess is the word I'm going for. We have Cornfest strawberry and sugar only here. We've got all kinds of festivals here. I swear we're the king of festivals. That's the only one. Well, we have that and we have Fall Fest here in Lucky. But, I mean, this is a teeny tiny town. We don't even have a stoplight anymore. I mean, we're that little. It's tiny town. But, I'm going to do the same with this guy. We're going to do each or every other one of this. But we have the Fall Fest in the fall, which is always, I think, the last weekend in September. And when I say the Fall Fest, it's really what's the word I'm looking for? Flea market is really what it is. It does have a craft section. It's not very big. I always take the weekend off, or the Friday off that it starts, because I always help the owner of the store that I'm in here in town. I always help her with the festival. So I always take that off so I can work the booth for her, because it's half my stuff. All right, now this one, I'm just going to kind of willy-nilly, randomly paint. No real rhyme or reason, because it's a wreath of lavender, so I'm going to just do sections in the two different colors. And I'll show you in a minute. We spent the day, I don't remember which day it was now, but one of the days we did a beach day when we were in Alabama, and we were down on Gulf Shores. It was actually Gulf Shores State Park, and it was gorgeous. It was such a beautiful day. Well, it wasn't really a beautiful day, honestly. It was very overcast and threatening thunderstorms the whole time. Matter of fact, we heard thunder. We never saw lightning, but we did hear thunder, and it was overcast. But it was perfect for Bob and I, because it was cooler because of the storm. It sprinkled a couple of times, but that was it. And we were in hog heaven, and Caitlin kept saying, I'm so sorry, I thought it was going to be nicer. And we're like, you know what? I don't care. This is perfect for us. It was overcast and probably 75, 80, and we were in heaven. Sprinkled a couple of times, but Bob had bought me a little cabana thing for my birthday, because my birthday was last Thursday. And so we We were just hanging out under the little cabana when it was raining, and it was fine. Okay, I think that's all of the dark I'm doing on that, as you can see. So we're going to go ahead. Thanks, Chris. Okay. So I think that is, let's go back and do our second coat on these. So we can get rid of this paint and move on to the lighter lavender. This is a fun kit to paint too, because you can get real creative with it. And these are good sized pieces. I mean, they're, I think, 6.5, 7 inches. So, you know, they're nice little chunks. They'll take up some space on your tiered tray. Or, like I said, anywhere you want to place them. Okay. That guy's done. Well, somewhat done. I still have to do his light lavender, but the dark lavender is done on that one. Oh, thanks, Tracy. It was nice. I got to spend it with my daughter and her husband. And then Dustin and the grandkids are coming this weekend. So I'll get to spend time with them. Matter of fact, Mom, it's confirmed. I think it's Sunday we're having the cookout, and Saturday we've got the grandkids and we're going to go to the zoo. That'll be our first time this year at the zoo, so that'll be fun. And it's supposed to be beautiful weather here, so that'll be great. It's supposed to be like 75 and sunny. So that's perfect zoo weather. Although it is a little chilly for the splash pad, and I think they'll both want to get in the splash pad, but we'll see. We'll see if it's warm enough. I think that's Ava's favorite part of the zoo is the splash pad. Emmett probably doesn't remember it. Because we didn't go at all last year, because I had just had the shoulder surgery, and there was no way I could take care of Emmett at the zoo. So we didn't go. We didn't even get a membership last year. So the last time he was there was when he was just a baby. You know, he wasn't even a year old yet. So I'm sure he doesn't remember it, but he loved the splash pad that year. I was worried he'd be scared of it when it, you know, would shoot up water, but he loved it. It was fun. Okay, so I think we are done with the dark purple, at least for the lavender. Yes, we do have a zoo pass. I'm not sure, Mom. I'll have to check with Bob when I get off. I don't know what time yet. I'm guessing probably 1 or 2. That's what we usually do, but I will check. Oh, great. I've got a glue worm, or a paint worm in this one. Let's see if we can get it out of there. Goodness gracious. I hate it when you get those in these. Okay. All right, so now we're going to go back and we are going to paint all of the other lavender, the lighter color. How are we doing on time? Okay, we got 15 minutes. Ooh, this is going to be tight. Hopefully I can get this done. How fast can I paint? Let's move this out of the way. These are going to need 2 coats too. Wait till you see how this goes together. It's so cute. Yeah, zoo memberships are a must with the grandkids because Ava especially, like I said, Emmett's still probably a little too young to remember, but Ava loves the zoo. And we've got a great zoo here in Toledo. I believe they've won a ton of awards and things because it's such a great zoo. And we always have fun when we take the grandkids. I love seeing their faces. It's just so cute. When Bob was, oh gosh, I don't know, it was a while ago. Our kids were like early teens, I think. Bob was in a photography club, and we got to go to the Columbus Zoo and go behind the scenes of the gorilla exhibit. And oh my gosh, was that neat. That was really cool. Michelle, your grandkids love it too? Love my craft space. I love my craft space too. And I have been so good about keeping it clean. Matter of fact, Friday, Craft Around the Clock is having craft room reveals. And I signed up for one because there is a few sections here that you guys haven't seen yet that are still a little on the messy side. Now, I mean, the room itself is clean, but like the cabinet that I had that I was behind my desk before, that I haven't touched, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that. And then I have a storage rack over here that I haven't touched. So, I mean, my floor and, all the surfaces and stuff are clean, and I've been able to keep it clean even while I'm crafting and stuff. I can, put things away easily, and that's the key I have discovered to keep the craft room clean. You have to have a place for everything, and that was what I was lacking. And now that I've figured that out, I'm able to keep it clean. I've been doing a really good job, and I've also, because I know what I have, because I can see it, and I just sorted everything, so I know where everything is. So I don't need to, when I'm out and about and I see something, I'm be like, nope, got 12 of those, don't need any more. Like all this ribbon up here. Yeah, I don't remember what the count was, but I want to say 20 rolls of buffalo plaid ribbon. Excuse me. That I use all the time. No, I'm not coming to Florida to do yours. You don't have a craft room in a space like that. The only reason I do is because I'm an empty nester, and we have a 3-bedroom house. So one is the man cave, Bob's room, and then the other one is mine. And this one is the craft room. This was our son's bedroom, actually, when he was growing up. And Bob took over our daughter's bedroom. And it just works out really well to have a dedicated space. And before I would always, just shut the door because I was so embarrassed by what it looked like. But now, I don't mind if the door is open because it looks great. So, I really have been enjoying it. Okay. We're still doing good. We have 15 minutes. I almost got all of this stuff painted, which this is the time-consuming stuff. The other stuff doesn't take much time at all. Okay, that's done. Just got to go back on these. And then we can move on. We did have fun in Alabama. We had a great time. It was a lot of fun. I will tell you, I don't know how you people do that heat. I really don't. Because it was when the day we went to New Orleans, it was 95, and of course the humidity was off the chain. And it was more than I could deal with. I was miserable. I mean, I had fun, but wow, was it hot. I can't do heat like that. I could never live there for that reason. For that reason, and also all the bugs and the lizards and ugh. No, I couldn't do that. I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff. Okay, so we're going to set all these aside so we can work on our other pieces here. Let these guys dry. Okay. So now I'm going to paint this the dark purple. I'm going to paint both of my frames the dark purple. I will need more dark purple. So on these, I did find it's easier to just drag the sponge. Since it's a dark color, you're not going to get a bunch of stuff on your edges where it's going to show and be messy. Because you guys know I don't like the messy edges. So we're just going to go around with this. I'll have to do a couple coats on these as well. Because again, this purple is not my favorite purple. I like the color, but it's not a great paint. Which for being deco art, I'm really surprised. So I'm going to paint this little bloom purple. And I'm going to paint these the lighter purple. I believe this is going to be the lighter purple. This is going to be white, and that's white. Okay. So we just got to let that dry. Where did I put my tape? Here's my tape. We're going to tape these little guys down because they're going to be too hard to paint otherwise. My entry room is my craft room, and I have to keep it cleaned up. Yeah, that would not work for me, Chris. Not to mention Bob would have a fit if I had my craft stuff everywhere. Okay. Now we are going to paint, oops, I messed that up. These are going to be, I want that the dark lavender. So we need to get some more paint out. 83 at the moment in Florida. It is 61 here in Ohio. It's been very cold here, which is crazy. This time of year, it's not supposed to be this cold. The week I was gone, it was even worse. It was like in the 50s and raining. Oops. So we picked a good week to be down there. And it was dry the whole week. Well, other than the day we were at the beach, then it was trying to storm, but never really did. But the humidity, though, was just off the chart. And I don't like all the lizards. I was in the bathroom at my daughter's house and climbing up her screen on the outside, thank God, because I would have freaked out, was a lizard. I could see the lizard through the window. I was like, oh my gosh, stay out there, little guy. Don't come in here. I am not a fan of all the creepy crawlies and the bugs and the ugh. And the house they bought was flipped, and the yard had pretty much been neglected for like 10 years because nobody had lived there for like 10 years. And so their yard was, a mess when they got there because they basically just mowed and that was it. Well, they have a massive amount of fire ant hills all over their yard. And Caitlin wanted to show us her garden, and so we're walking out there and we're looking at her garden and stuff. And she's like, "Oh, watch that! That's an ant hill. Oh, watch that!" And I was scared to death to even walk in her yard. I'm like, "Ah, I don't want these fire ants." So they're working on getting rid of the fire ants, but it's a process. So they're They're kind of struggling with that, but they'll get there. All right, so I'm going to paint this little beaded thing white. I shouldn't be doing it this way, but we're in a rush. We have 8 minutes, and I got to get this thing put together. I think we're about all painted, though. So now it'll be just assembling it. So let's get this dry real fast. No, I don't like iguanas either. I like folk art paint because it is the sealer. I am happy I have a purpose for this useless room. Well, there you go, Chris. Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of the iguanas. When we were in Mexico, we saw a ton of iguanas, and I was not a fan of those either. I do not like the creepy crawlies. I will say, we rented a little condo, and the condo we rented, I did not see a single bug the whole time we were there, which that's saying something for the South. So they must have really good pest control. Because there was nothing. All right, Miss Cheryl, we'll see you later. Hello, Mariana from Nebraska. Welcome, welcome. All right, we are just about ready to put this little guy together. And you're going to see how stinking cute this is. I have 6 minutes to do it. Can I do it? Okay, I think we're all painted. Only other thing I want to do is the center of my flowers. I want to take my paint pen and put a little white dot in the center of my... It's just so much easier to do with the paint pen. Okay, let's go. We're going to start putting this little fella together. All right, so you heard me talk about this little picker. All of our kits are peel and stick. So there's no gluing necessary. So you're probably thinking, how in the world is she going to get this thing done? Because it's really easy. Now this is a little trickier because these are such fine little lines that they're kind of hard to peel this all off, but we'll get it. These little pickers really help. Oh, one of the puppies wants to come in. Scratching at the door. Got one more little section, and this is the hardest one to get the backing off of. Come on. There we go. There we go. Okay. And then this just gets centered. This is the best part of these kits, is that they're so easy. Once you get everything painted, they are so easy to just put together. Put that little bloom right there. These little flowers go here. Much faster getting off than when you were on vacation. I don't know what that means. What does that mean, Kim? I'm confused. Okay, one of the three done. Sorry about the backwards, but Facebook took that away from us, as y'all know. Yes, Pat, we are in Lucky, Ohio, which is just south of Toledo, if you're familiar with Ohio at all. It is south of Toledo. Now, I will caution you that these are one and done. When you peel these off and you stick them down, as soon as you press, you're okay until you press. Once you press them down, you're stuck and you're not going to get them back up. I have 2 minutes. I have one more to do. I almost have this one done. Okay, now we just gotta do our little bow. Okay, and there's that one. I mean, look how precious that is. Now, I did not go back on this one and do the lines like I was going to, but I ran out of time. So we can do that later. Okay, so these we're going to space out. This is still very wet. Let's dry this real quick. That light purple that's still really wet. Okay. I got 1 minute. I gotta hurry. This goes right there in the center. I'm just going to space these out so I don't mess this up. This goes over here. That goes there. There we go. Okay. Like 2 more pieces to put on. Our time is up, but we're going to finish real quick. I think we'll be okay. All we got to do is put our lavender on. On our little sign. And then put this on and we're done. Well, I didn't paint the stand. I forgot to paint the stand, but I'll show it to you. Ooh, I just about put that on upside down. That would have been bad. I didn't paint the stand, but I'll show it to you real quick. Okay, so that one sits down in there. And then we have these two guys. I mean, look how cute these are. Okay, so that is what I have for you tonight, and it is on our website. The link is up above, and I will post a completed picture of it here soon. All right, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here with me tonight, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. All right, bye-bye.